I just watched an anime, episode 2 of The Case Files of Jeweler Richard. This episode opens with us getting a look at all the customers Richard gets. People from all around the world get his expertise. This episode, a Japanese woman by the name of Akashi Mami would like a brooch appraised. It's a ruby with a ribbon of diamonds, but she only wants to know if the ruby has gone through the heat treatment process. The heat treatment process is a way of changing the color of a ruby. A ruby that, if you have one ruby that has gone through heat treatment and one that has not, and they're the same color, the one that hasn't gone through heat treatment is the more valuable, okay? She wants to know if the thing has been heat treated, the ruby has been. And that's all she asks. She doesn't want to know about the value of the diamonds or anything. She just wants to know if the ruby has been heat treated. When she comes in, she's like in a hurry. She almost falls over, like she's walking a little weak. She's in and out really quick. She doesn't take long to just hand over all her personal info and contact information. She didn't give a story on why she wanted that info in particular. She was in and out, and she didn't even stick around for the tea. She left her wallet, though, and Seigi, our MC, returns it. And when he does, he notices she looks really sad. Seigi asks if Mommy is okay, but she just walks away. Seigi seems to see the same look in her eyes that he saw in his grandma's. The same, guilt look. Seigi gets back to the shop to discuss the weird request with Richard. It's rare for someone to just ask about the ruby alone's value. Seigi talks to the same girl he saved from the creepy old man last episode, and they talk about minerals. Apparently she's into them. He clearly has a crush on her. The next day at the shop, the Japanese lady, Akashi Mami's fiance shows up at the shop. He thinks Richard's having an affair with her, but no, they bring tensions down. They talk. Apparently she's become really distant recently. She never smiles, and she's been losing weight from never eating. They realize that, but as they talk, they realize that Akashi Mami, when she came in, she used a fake name. Her real name is Sazu Mami, and the brooch she brought was a gift from the fiance. The plot thickens. That's how I wrote in my notes. The plot thickens. So Mami comes back for some reason. Mami comes back. This is the one part of the show that I thought was kind of a plot hole. She comes back for no apparent reason. The results aren't in or anything. She just comes back. Mami sees the fiance and she's shook. But the fiance just smiles and says, "Let's talk." As they talk, though, she makes it clear that she can't marry him. She says, quote, "I cannot stand growing a vegetable garden in the desert." Damn. Then she says the old line, "It's not you, it's me," and she runs away. But instead of the fiance following, Seigi does. The fiance stays behind dejected and all sad and everything. He's like, "I can't believe she hates me." And Richard's like, "I don't really know if that's what's happening here, man." But Seigi follows, presumably because he has this weird connection with her. He gets the same vibes he used to get from his grandma. Seigi catches up to Mami just as she's about to pass out, presumably from never eating. She somewhat on kind of a whim decides that she's gonna sit on the park bench with Seigi and open up about her life. Mami says that she cannot marry the fiance because she cannot forget the last person she was in love with, a woman named Akashi. They were together for 7 years. Oh, okay. But it was a bad relationship. She said it was growing a vegetable garden in the desert. So she's a lesbian, right? And she tried living a normal life. For a year she's been going with this fiance guy. And she is really depressed because she wants to live a normal life, but she's not into it. She can't love this guy, all right? It's just not in her. She's just not wired to love this guy. And she feels like she's living a lie so much so that she can't even eat. Seigi says, well, no one is normal. And there's a lot of people who want to be normal, but sometimes there's just things about you about yourself that you can't change. And she's like, "Oh, you would be a great counselor." And as soon as she finishes saying that, she passes the heck out and collapses. They take her to the hospital, and then it skips ahead to her receiving the evaluation from Richard. She has cut her hair short. It was long before, now it's short. So Richard says the value of the ruby alone is worth 10 million yen. So the real question, why did she want to know? Well, if the jewel was cheap, she would marry him. if it was expensive, she would not marry him because she couldn't stand the guilt of being married to a man so deeply in love with her. But they realized that she kind of already knew the truth and that her answer was going to be not to marry. Like, she knew to herself that she couldn't do it. This was a pretty good episode. There's a lot I didn't talk about. Normally I go through scene by scene what happens in every episode, but there's a lot going on here subliminally, just in like the way characters look and some of the little things. It's like, it's a lot to write down. But that was the main arc of the episode. It was pretty good. I was pessimistic about this episode and this series being bad, but this is fine. It turned out okay. If you like mysteries, I think you'd be okay with this show. But if you can't stand shows that are just people sitting around talking, this is not the show for you because they do nothing but talk and solve mysteries that way. Anyway, yeah, I give this episode a 7 out of 10. It's good. We'll see what they got for me next week. Thanks for sticking around. See ya.